Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's do a mirrored ice dye design. The shirt was prepped like normal and I have it turned inside out. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to center the shirt. And this process is going to go really fast, but I have a link down below in the description for this video to another video which shows how to center a shirt. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm getting both halves of the front of the shirt right up next to each other, and the same thing with the back. That way when I apply the dye or do anything to the front of the shirt, both halves of the front of the shirt are going to look more alike. Same thing with the back. Right along the center line of the shirt, I'm going to do some random shapes. I'm kind of twisting some areas and I'm pressing them up next to one another. Then the rest of the shirt, I'm going to just kind of scrunch into this area that I twisted right along the center line of the shirt. Once I have it the way I want it, I'm going to hold the folds in place with some kite string. You could also use some rubber bands to hold these folds in place if you prefer to do that. I'm going to rack dye this shirt, so I've placed it on a rack over the top of a plastic tub or tote. I need to make myself an ice barrier, so I'm attaching some silicone cake molds together. Then I'm going to wrap them around the shirt and hold them in place by attaching some wooden clothespins to my metal rack. I've chosen 2 colors of yellow, 2 colors of green, and 2 colors of blue to use on this shirt. And I'm just going to randomly apply the dye to the top of the shirt. I'm using Zesty Yellow from Dye Spin and Marigold from Dharma. Then I'm using Sweet Clover from Dye Spin and Forest Green from Dharma. Then for the blues, I'm going to use Cornflower and Royal Blue, which are both Dharma colors. I think that Cornflower is a Dharma special order color, and you can still purchase those in really large quantities, or I have a link down below this video in the description for a Facebook group called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. The people in that group purchase the large quantities of dye and then repackage them down to sell in smaller quantities. Now I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top of the dye and then add on a layer of ice. After the first layer of ice melted, I came back and added a very thin second layer of ice and allowed it to melt. Then I let the shirt process for about 24 hours before I rinsed it out. To rinse the shirt, I took it to my utility sink and I started rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I untied the shirt and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. If you notice, I had some yellow dye left sitting on top, and that's not uncommon. Yellow dye kind of has a tendency to not want to dissolve very well when you ice dye with it. Instead of just continuing to rinse for a long time, I went ahead and ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent, and allowed the shirt to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I put the shirt along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so the shirt has been washed, dried, and ironed, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? So I think this one looks kind of funky. I like the colors on it, and the designs going straight down the middle are kind of interesting. For those of you who like to find the cool little faces and stuff in shirts, these are some good ones to look at because there's all kinds of neat looking shapes and faces, and I don't know, I think one of them looks like a bird. I think it's always fun and interesting to see the things that show up in the tie-dye. It's kind of neat too because the front is not exactly like the back. There are a few different things in the front than in the back. And of course, both sides of the front, or both halves of the front of the shirt, look pretty similar, and so do the back. That's because I centered the shirt before I did any kind of twists or design on the shirt. I got really good color saturation too. I don't have a whole lot of white left on this shirt, and I do think the colors flow really well together. So overall, I really like this shirt, but what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed this video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it, and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.